with that one because, does anybody speak Yiddish out here? So everyone who's Jewish, raise your hand. Oh, all right. You don't speak Yiddish? A bissel. Spiel ze mir a bissel in Yiddish. What's the name of that song? Play me a little in Yiddish. So that's what we're going to do tonight. Spiel ze mir a bissel in Yiddish. This is called Klesmer music. Music that was played in Eastern Europe, in the Pale of the Settlements where all the Jews lived. Brought over to this country, jazz got added to it, and this is music I grew up with, so I enjoy playing it and sharing the story. So usually when people ask me what this music is, I usually tell them about this song, which you may recognize, so we'll see if you recognize it. So did anyone know that tune? But do you know the history of the tune? The history of the tunes are 100 times better than the tunes themselves. So that was a theme from a Yiddish theatrical production on the Lower East Side called I Would If I Could, was the name of the musical. And attending it one night was Janet Grosinger, whose parents owned Grosinger's, a big fancy hotel in the Catskill Mountains. She fell in love with that too. So that summer there were a couple black entertainers singing at Grosinger's, and she taught them the song by Mirabis Duchesne. Okay? That's like 1926. 1934, these guys are singing in Harlem, and Jewel Stein, famous composer, wrote a lot of stuff for Frank Sinatra. Here's a song, and it's going, you know, if I gave it a little more swing beat and changed some of the lyrics to English, I think it would be perfect for the Andrews Sisters, right? Who weren't even Jewish, but that's a whole other story. So it became by Mirabis Duchesne, by Me You Are Pretty. And they had some English lyrics. It was popular all around the world, even in Germany, until they found out it came from a Yiddish musical. But there were all these musicals on the Lower East Side, because when the Jewish immigrants came from Poland and Lithuania and all those other places, first of all, they couldn't afford Broadway. Second of all, they couldn't speak any English. So this is a tune from my favorite Yiddish musical, a musical called Yiddle mit a Fiddle. Yiddle, little boy or girl with a fiddle, with a violin. You know the storyline. Girl wants to play in a band like ours, except in Orthodox Jewish law, men and women can't be together on a stage, okay? So how's she gonna do it? So that's, okay, I'm gonna cut my hair, I'm gonna dress like a boy, I'm gonna get a job with this band. She does that, she auditions, she gets in the band, she's as happy as can be. Except she falls in love with the clarinet player.
It's always the clarinet
player. Never the accordion player, never the trumpet player, never the bass player, because they got too much stuff to schlep around. It's always the clarinet player, because they can get away quicker. She doesn't know what to do. I mean, how am I supposed to tell this clarinet player I'm in love with him? He thinks I'm one of the guys. Right? So she goes home to her mother, and in typical Yiddish, she goes, "Oi." You don't know what oi means? It means oi. Okay? She goes, "Oi, mama, benech for leap." Oh, mother, am I in love? What should I do? And this was a song from that musical. Oi, mama, benech for leap. So, you know, when Jewish boys turn 13, they have a bar mitzvah. Usually you get really good presents. I got an accordion and a book of Yiddish music. I was not popular with the heartthrobs of the 8th grade at number 8 school. Their mothers and grandmothers really liked me, though. This is a song that was in that book. I mean, I actually tore it out of that book. It was my mother's favorite Yiddish song. I had to play it every time I practiced. She heard it twice. Good one.
I'm surprised it was that many.
So, great Yiddish title. Glick, du bist gekommen zu spät. What?
Too late.
Too late. You got the end of it. Glick, happiness. Glick, du bist gekommen zu spät. Happiness, you came too late. Typical Yiddish sentiment, mixing happiness and sadness all in one sentence. All the great composers of the American songbook did just that, because most of them were descendants of Eastern European Jews. So here, Jerome Kern wrote A Fine Romance with No Kisses, happiness and sadness. He wrote Every Time We Say Goodbye, changes from major happiness to minor sadness. And you look at the lyrics of Gershwin, Berlin, Harold Arlen, Jerome Kern, you usually find a phrase in there that's got happiness and sadness in Yiddish all smushed together, because that's the Yiddish sentiment. So this is my mother's favorite song, Glick du bist gekommen zu spät. Hey. So he's gonna start, you ready? time we have some audience interaction. This one comes from my grandfather, who taught me this song when I was a little boy. It's all about the rabbi and his students. I wasn't a very good student, but that's okay. He wasn't a very good rabbi. It's called Unaz the Rebbe Zingt. And now the rabbi sings. And it's all about whenever the rabbi does something, all the students want to do the same thing. So this is audience participation. So the first verse of the song, the rabbi sings. So all the students sing. So can you all go, ya ba da ba da, ya ba da ba. Better if you're out of tune, because I don't know a rabbi that can sing in tune. Okay, so let's try it again. So the first time through the song, the rabbi sings when I point you, all the students sing. Sounds like you're eating. Here we go. Got tired and say, I think the rabbi's ready to go to sleep. So this time when we get there, I want to hear what you think it sounds like when the rabbi's sleeping. Or it could be what everyone in the congregation sounds like when he's giving a speech. Which would you say? You know, I do a program for grade school kids about Yiddish music, like all across Iowa, which seems pretty odd. But I always ask the kids, what do their teachers say? And of course, the first three things they say is sit down, be quiet, you know, do this, do that. And after that, I go, I'm wondering, do the teachers ever say anything nice to you? And it takes them a while. And last week I was doing one in Indianola, and this girl said, they could say, which I thought was a classic, they could say this, but they never do. So, be honest. Who plans on going to services Saturday morning? Okay, there's an honest answer. So, we're going to play a song that's sung whenever the Torah, the scrolls, are taken out or put back in. The congregation rises and they sing. This is in Hebrew. We're trying to show our diversity now, so we don't all play Yiddish songs. This is a Hebrew song. So, congregation rises and sings a song called Eitz Chaim, which means it's a tree of life to those who take hold of it. And I think if I play it tonight on Thursday, that excuses me from going on Saturday. So I'm pretty sure. I'll have to talk to the rabbis. So this is our take on Eitz Chaim. Services. You can tell the rabbi I said so. So this next song was in that book of Yiddish music. And Jews in Eastern Europe lived in what was called shtetls, little communities. Not a very nice place to live. Fiddler on the Roof might have made it look somewhat nice, not a nice place to live, okay? But they were these little villages, and this is a song written about one of them. Village by the name of Belz, B-E-L-Z. And as a matter of fact, the Hasidic rabbi in Des Moines, Rabbi Jacobson, his family is from Belz, which I didn't know until one time I was playing this. And he said, wait a minute, that's where my grandparents are from. So the name of this tune is Belz, mein Städtele Belz. Belz, my hometown Belz. Why it's a tango, I have no idea. Unless we made it a tango. these songs that came from the old country were based on what are called nagoons. They're just wordless chants that the singer, the cantor, would sing extemporaneously. Some of them got written down, some of them were passed down in families, some of them were passed down in families in just certain shtetls. So there's a lullaby that my mother and grandmother would sing to me and my siblings, and we're the only ones that have ever heard the song. Because it was passed down in this little village in Poland from generation to generation. So those melodies are called nagoons. And this is actually called nagoon number 1, probably because there's like 10,000 of them. And the words are very difficult. I-D-D-D-die, D-D-D-die-die-die, I-D-D-D. They were just these wordless chants, and the cantor would to fill up time. So this is nagoon number 1. too, so if you're looking for it on Spotify, so a couple of years ago I was asked to do a presentation about Jewish Yiddish music and culture in Mount Pleasant, Iowa. I got lost on my way there. I was late by half an hour, and I walked in and said, see, I just taught you two things about the Jewish culture. We're bad with directions and we're always late. This song is written about the second characteristic. In Yiddish, zu spät, too late. Orthodox rabbi says, if you don't know it in English, just read it in Yiddish.
Stick around, it'll get better.
No, it won't get any better. So sing along with this one. what does that have to do with Jews, right? Name famous Jewish baseball players. No, I'm not one of them. Sandy Koufax. Okay, great Sandy Koufax story. This was not a plan. So if you remember, he was in the World Series for the Dodgers. The big game was on Yom Kippur, the holiest day of the year. And Sandy Koufax said, I cannot pitch that day, because he's Jewish. So they put in Don Drysdale, who was a good pitcher. They lost the game. At the press conference afterwards, Don Drysdale actually said, I bet people wished I was Jewish too. But why we play that was written, I'm not sure if it was the melody or the lyrics, written by a Jewish immigrant that comes to America and reads in the Yiddish paper, the forwards in New York, that if you're new to America, go see a baseball game. It's the most American thing you can do. And it described how the game was played. So he wrote the lyrics or the music or both, I can't remember. And that's how he got taken out to the ball game. 38 years later, he went to his first baseball game. More amazing thing, one of them, and I can't remember if it was a lyricist or the composer, Judy Garland's uncle. That's how we got Take Me Out to the Ball Game. So, at one time, we had a wonderful vocalist that could sing in Yiddish. Sadly, she passed away, and even though I keep putting ads in the paper, wanted Yiddish singer, I haven't had any takers.
You keep writing in Yiddish.
That would be the problem. So we decided to re-lyric a bunch of songs you might know with Yiddish references. I cannot sing. I'll tell you the lyrics and then we'll play the song. And it's, anybody remember the old song, Dream? Dream when you're feeling blue. Okay, so we called it Nosh. And it's Nosh when you're feeling blue. Nosh, that's a thing to do. Eat Bubby's kugel and some smoked fish. Nibble a knish, just fill up your dish. Nosh on some seeded rye, nosh on some matzo brie. The food doesn't need to be very posh, just nosh, nosh, nosh. So we'll play the song. If I have a better singing, if I have any singing voice, not better. You want to sing it? No, okay. And we're going to feature our tap dancer in the middle here. All right, here we go. True story. Asked to play a wedding once, and we met with the bride and groom a week before the wedding. I said, you probably want a song, First Dance with Your Father. Why don't we play? From Sunrise, Some Suffer. So no, I don't want that. They play that at every Jewish wedding. So we played something else. During the reception, she comes up to me and goes, do you guys know Hava Nagila? Okay, like they haven't played that at every Jewish wedding, so we'll play Hava Nagila because someone's going to ask for it. There's room to dance. They'll even dance with you.
There you go. A conservative and a Hasidic Jew up here, so we got to argue about temples.
Yes, she was there.
So, all the great composers of the Great American Songbook, except for Cole Porter, the majority were Jewish. Okay? Cole Porter once said, imagine how far I could have gotten if I was born on the Lower East Side. But yet, even though they were all sons and daughters of immigrants, the only one that was born in Europe, Irving Berlin, was born in Russia. None of them wrote any Yiddish songs, which is so, yeah, okay, all right, Irving Berlin wrote I'm Grieving of a White Hanukkah. We'll give him that, okay. And your Pesach bonnet with all the frills upon it. He didn't write any, Yiddish things. There was one composer in that era that went both ways. I mean, he wrote American songs. Yeah. A guy by the name of Jack Yellen, who wrote Happy Days Are Here Again, the campaign song for FDR in one of his elections. Wrote 5'2", Eyes of Blue. I think he wrote When the Sun Shines in L.A. and a couple other things. He wrote one for his mother called the Yiddish Mama. I've played this tune since I was a kid. About 20 years ago, I'm playing it, and my parents happened to be in Des Moines. And afterwards, my mother comes up to me and goes, do you know my second cousin wrote that song? Okay, when are you going to wait to tell me that, Mom? No one in the family ever mentioned him because he married into the family in the early 40s. He divorced, so he divorced the cousin that he married that was part of my family. So he was like blotted out from the family history. I mean, I never got a chance to meet him. I would have loved to have met him, a guy by the name of Jack Yellen. So this is a song he wrote for his mother, a Yiddish Mama. On bass, David Altermeyer Steen.
Yeah, man. Stand up.
On drums, Kurt Bauermaster Steen. And on trumpet, someone I've known for how long? 30 years?
At least.
Making his first appearance with the Java Jews. Dave Coverdall-Steen. And I'm Dave Goldstein-Steen. All right, here's your chance to sing along. Great Yiddish tune. Zing in a lid is a mechaya. To sing in Yiddish is a joy. So to sing in Yiddish, you go, depending on what part of the Europe you're from, I, die, la, la, la. But you're going to sing along. We're going to teach you this song. And you're going to have to put up with us singing. So just join in. Lie, and I can't sing it, it's not in my key, not that that would matter. Lie, die, 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 die. Lie, die, 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 die. Yeah, die, 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 yeah, die, 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 yeah, die, 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 yeah, die, 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 die. need to say this before we leave, but we are available for your next bar mitzvah.
Yeah! Thank you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if anyone has questions.
Oh, my. Thanks for coming. Abe, I have a question,
Okay.
and it's something I could have handled on the phone, but I thought as long as you're here in front of all these people, how did the Java Jews get their names?
So there's a coffee shop, or was, in downtown Des Moines called Java Joe's. And I thought if we called us the Java Jews, maybe they would book us there, which they did. Now, my children at that time were into like rock and roll. They thought we should be called Slipknot. And I actually called the guys that are in Slipknot, and then, oh, that's fine, but we had already adopted the Java Jews. I'd be happy that, we'd be happy to, well, they can't answer because they aren't Jewish, they don't know anything. Yes, sir. If you have any questions about Yiddish music or the songs, I'd be happy to answer them. Any questions? Good.
One.
Oh, what's the question?
I don't have a question. I'm going to tell you something.
Okay.
May not know.
All right.
Okay.
Oh, you're stuck there. Okay. Hang on, let us get that set up. Here you go. All right.
Okay. My dad played ball from 60, from 46 to 63.
Wow.
And he enjoyed every bit of it. And he played for 17 years. And now, if you ever want to look in the library, there's stuff in there they couldn't believe. And I said, well, that's the case. Go to the library.
All right. And what was his name?
His name went by Jackie Collum, Collum.
He played baseball.
And played pro ball. Baseball.
Played for the Red Sox, the Cardinals, the Red Sox.
There you go. Thank you
Well,
for sharing that.
yeah, a little bit of me was there
Yeah.
in there.
All right.
And I had 5 brothers and